All right, we're gonna be looking at a. You said it was a platinum game, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was discombobulated from how we started things. So why did you choose this game?
I chose this game because this is a game where it truly shows what character I struggle with and how I'll be attempting to fix it, but I feel like I could have did better.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Okay.
Because Black Panther players are like the devil. I can't stand them. Can't stand it.
Yeah, they definitely are a problem. They are a problem. We were talking about this already, but I mean, because they're so quick, the main trick to Black Panther is just kind of getting in an elevated position because he can only dash or get close to a wall. That also makes it hard for him. But we'll see kind of what happens. And
This game I started as Luna.
Honestly, I didn't
I
notice
started off as
anything
Luna
special.
because
I'm
for what the
unusual.
comp was,
It's
I
no
feel like it
problem,
made
you
more
know?
sense. But
mhm.
as you can see in a minute,
There they are.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Your Scroller already got. Okay, you guys got demolished. Okay, I will say that when you're going, this map is very hard to play into. I'm not even gonna front because there's not a lot of sight lines for you. But you want to try to have high ground most of the time when you are playing healer, if possible. So you're gonna have to go out your way and go to the left here, so you can be behind this wall and look down and heal, or you can go up on the little jump pad there, and then you can just be right here. But a lot of the times when you are playing as a healer, you want to try to think about the map before you even get onto the field and where you want to stand. You can have your favorite spots to stand if you want. Like if you're someone where it's like, oh, well, I like standing in this one spot because it's my favorite, then, do that. But always try to have somewhere where you know that if I throw my abilities or I try to heal, I'm not blocked off. Because as soon as your tanks get up here and then these trees aren't even broken, like you can't see anything. So it's not necessarily on you, but just know, like, when you're climbing through these ranks, it's just very difficult because they don't think about, oh, my healers can't see me. They just like run, right? And so you just have to prepare yourself for that by being in those positions. Um, and every map has them. And you started off going this way, and then you drop down instead of staying right here because you'd be good if we watch it from this angle.
I don't know why I dropped down there, honestly.
You'd be chilling.
I thought about it and I thought about doing it after I jumped.
Hmm.
And at one point, I was like, it's too late. I might have just stuck it down here.
Yeah, again, it's not really your fault to why it's happening. It's just always something to keep in mind. Your Squirrel Girl was like face tanking anyway, which is weird. Yeah, we just try to back up here, try to regroup with our team. And we're just waiting on him. So this is where you
Just
said you
sounds
started
like
dealing with that Black
this sounds
Panther.
like Luna's not the one because where did he come from? And he insta killed me. I'm like, this ain't it.
Yeah, like when situations like that, I mean, that was just a good KO on the Black Panther. That wasn't really a you mistake. That guy was good, clearly. But in situations like this is why you don't want to be too close to your team because you don't really want to be caught in the AoE blast that whatever happens, right? Like, regardless of if Black Panther was here or not, you guys are still being hit by AoE abilities, and that's because you're too close. So always try to do your best to be far enough away. And yeah, if you get singled out by Black Panther, well, I mean, it sucks, but at least you're the only one KOing and not two people or three people or however many people that might be sitting on each other. But I would have swapped as well.
I've still got songs to sing.
I mean, dealing with the cat, Black Panther, and the Venom, yeah, but Rocket is definitely a better choice. Who's on
Just,
you?
just getting to the point. Spawn killing me.
All right, so now that we know he spawn killed us, he's probably gonna do it again. So you have to think about, okay, how am I gonna get around the situation? Right now, you notice that Jeff just got KO'd, so he's gonna be coming out very soon. And I mean, you're not going to be able to make it to this fight before someone gets KO'd, most likely. So if I were you, I'd just wait for your team to come back. Jeff is spawning and Emma is right there. Wait for them to all get KO'd and just walk together. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you tried to walk out, but again, your team lost that fight anyway, you know? They're coming with you. So if you just waited a few seconds, you would have had him, you would have had Jeff. And I think, like I said, Emma was somewhere coming. So that would just be like, yeah, your whole entire team just got KO'd. So that's just like a patience thing. You know, it's not your job to make things happen. This is something that you got to really hit home as a support, especially once you get to high ranks. If it's not safe for you, it's not safe for you. And you just don't play the game until it is safe for you. That's all that it is. You might get flamed, but like realistically, just like you just walked out and got KO'd, if that's going to happen, you're going to be off the map anyway. So what's the difference between you just sitting and waiting for your team, you know?
Right.
So, and again, it's not your fault. These characters are designed to be able to get you. All right, so your team's here. We're chilling. Our main threat is Black Panther. So all we have to do is just pay attention to where that guy is, and if we can do that, we're good to go. So you notice Black Panther's...
I had to sit up here because I kind of knew Black Panther can insta-kill me. So I don't know what it is with supports or Rocket, because I could hear him every time he came from behind me from right here. So that's why I had to sit up right here. But at the same time, I felt like from up here, I'm not doing nothing as far as healing wise. Because there's only 2 things I can bounce the beams off the trees. So if they're not in the position, it's hard.
Yeah, it is rough. This map is, yeah, I agree. The bright side, though, because of how Black Panther works, you know, he tosses the spear, and then he'll dash, and then he'll do a spin kick. Well, the only thing that can go diagonal or vertical is going to be the dash. And if he messes up that dash, then he doesn't have it again. So if you could just try to go up and down a lot, whether it be on the trees or even up and down, like right here. So let's say you're healing, and you go up, and then you heal. And then as soon as he jumps up, you go down. And then you continue to do that. It's very hard for him to catch you. It's the same for Spider-Man and things like that. Like, you're not trying to outrun these characters. You just have to outmaneuver them. You know, they're designed to get to you, be sticky. So what you want to do is always try to think about, well, how are you going to use your kit and try to outmaneuver that kit? At least until someone, you know, saves you. I would, again, try to just be up here. You got more vision. Don't be afraid to reposition. I know some stuff is happening, but you being in the best position possible is going to be how you get the most out of all the healers. Yeah, you see kind of like that, where you're like trying to run away. Don't really worry about running away. I think you're in your team. You're pretty much in a good spot.
I was actually trying to get on top of that wall.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Well, why did you go sideways?
On top of that, so I can sit right there. Because I was trying to get up the wall, and then I was like, this is probably not going to get position. So halfway through, I missed it. I'm like, oh, forget it. I think after this one, I think I went back in the same spot.
Oh, you mean after that?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta find the spot. Oh, that was nice. That was good. But the thing with that is, like, I'm not saying they KO'd because of you, but the thing about that is, like, when you are moving and the time that you're taking to reposition could be the deciding factor if someone's gonna get KO'd or not. It pretty much works like this most of the time. There's 2. I mean, you might have heard me even explain this before, but most of the time there is 2 phases. You know, there's the pre-fight phase, which is P, and then there's the full fight phase, which I just use F for. Oh, that is not an F. I mean, it kind of is. That I use F for. During the pre-fight phase, nothing is happening. That's kind of just where everybody's repositioning, poking a little bit. During the full fight phase, this is where you got to make sure that you're positioned really, really well. If you decide to flip them, you might end up KOing your team, or your team just might not pay attention to the fact that you're not healing anymore, and then they end up getting KO'd. If we watch that back, you'll notice that that was the full fight phase, right? You already had the pre-fight phase when you were getting poked and stuff. And then right here, you're trying to reposition. They're in the full fight phase. But she could get healed. She can get healed. They need you right now. But because you're, you know, climbing around and repositioning, you're late. Imagine if she was full HP, she wouldn't get KO'd there. Now you could say, well, imagine if she just positioned better, which is facts. No, it's facts. Truly facts. She should have positioned better. But when you climb in a ladder game, you know, I always say the goal is to make the game easier for your team. Is it easier for your squirrel girl to learn how to position if she deserves to be in this rank? Or is it easier for you to be in position before the fight starts so that way you can give her the amount of heals that she needs to survive her mistakes, you know? Okay, wait. Why are you healing Jeff there? What is...
Because at first I thought that's my Jeff, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not my Jeff. Why is he up there? I gotta kill him.
Okay, that was funny. We ain't even gonna talk about that. That was funny. No. I needed that laugh. That was good. I've done that too before. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Right, perfect. No, just reposition, get yourself in a good spot. That ult off. Jeff coming in. So in instances like these, one of the main struggles with Rocket is just kind of knowing when should I do damage versus when I should heal. Some Rockets overheal, some Rockets do too much damage. It's kind of finding that balance. If we look at your team here, right, where is the fight in this situation? Right, the fight used to be here, but now it's back there, right? So this means that we should move forward too. I explained this in like a most recent video that I posted, but I was explaining how, like, you know those cartoons where like people get into like a little fight and then there's a puff of smoke and everybody's just fighting and rolling around all over the place? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what it is in Marvel Rivals. And so when that dog pile starts moving backwards, well, you have to start moving forward. And then when it starts moving, you know, forward towards you, you got to start moving backwards. You have to constantly readjust your positioning for it. The reason being is because, yes, healing characters generally do not have fall off when it comes to healing. They have fall off when it comes to damage. And if you want to help your team win a fight, but you have to reposition from here to there during the fight, you might not be able to help them. So if we watch this back, and let's just say you were already making your way, because they're kind of healthy. You can heal and walk at the same time, right? And you're making your way, you'd be here right now with them. And you could be right here, light them up. Because they didn't need your permanent healing. This is just one of those moments where they weren't truly in danger. And you could assist them. And then you just be fighting. And then as they start coming, you start going backwards. You're not going to be able to kill the Jeff or the KO of the Jeff here. It's just not happening. Oh, maybe you could have if you were right there. No, you could have. Yeah, if you were there, you would have been able to KO him. He's super low. But let's just say, okay, well, I couldn't get him. Then you would just run back and reposition. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe like right here, shoot the cap. You know, but this is you just being a presence the entire time. This is how you end up carrying as Rocket. Quote unquote carrying. There's not really a true carry. But this is how you do more than just heal. And in order for you to do that damage, you do have to be close enough to do it. Now, I obviously know you are shooting at the same time, but you can get a lot more done if you're closer because his fall off. Did your team actually win this? Brother Gaming.
I think they did win this one. That's why I'm like, that's at first when I was in the back, I'm like, all right, cool. If Black Panther's targeting me this whole time and not my team, all right, cool. If I can stay alive, that's one less DPS they have to deal with.
Right.
I kind of KO'd there, so I was kind of worried. Dang, I kind of KO'd there. I threw, but they still managed to get the point.
Yeah, and that's because I noticed that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I obviously don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's mainly because of when you're getting attacked by Black Panther, it's like you're not prepared for it. Like, you know he's there, but you don't know when he's going to come and attack you. But every time that you know what he's about to do before he does it, it'll be easier for you to react to it. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you are doing that, but that's something that you have to try to learn and incorporate every single time that you play. So we'll see during this round how we get attacked. Oh, there's a magic too. Good luck.
Oh my god, magic! I was good. I was good then with the Black Panther, and then they added magic. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that.
Because then they tried to double team me.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay, so we know we have.
I didn't know what I was doing. Everybody was all over the place.
I mean, you're doing fine. You're repositioned. You want to just be careful because you know we are in line of sight. They all see you. Whether or not they pay attention to you and punish you is a different story. But like realistically, everybody can just see you. You're not hidden, but they are distracted. But again, keep that in mind. We don't want you to get picked because they look at you. Nice. All right. Now we have to evaluate the situation. In this particular moment, do you feel like you need to heal the Strange? In this particular moment.
No.
Right. So you could be doing damage. Right? Because you don't need to heal him. And you don't have any eyes on the rest of your team. So you might as well take this moment to do some damage and try to win the fight. And the thing is, it's moments like these, because imagine if your teammates just can't aim. Imagine if they mess up. Whatever. Imagine they just don't know how to play the character. You're adding so much value by doing damage when you don't need to heal. And you have to keep in mind, too, that the orbs are lingering, you know? Rocket's orbs don't just disappear randomly, you know? They'll shoot through, heal a little bit, and if it hits a wall, it'll bounce and heal again. It lingers. So you could pop a few orbs, shoot a little bit. Pop a few orbs, shoot a little bit. And just alternate. So that way you always have orbs up, but you're also still doing damage between the orb bouncing. Because, yeah, you notice how you really only fight when people are really, really in danger, or if they're directly in front of your face. You could do so much more. So I want to see you fight more. That'd be really beneficial. With that, you didn't have to move. You could have just KO'd her. She was trolling. There's no way you get KO'd here. You're in your own ult. You know? So you could just sit here and just shoot her. You're fine.
I didn't notice that my ult got all the way up there. So I actually jumped down into the ult and didn't realize my ult got me from all the way up there.
Hey, you know Black Panther's behind you, so remember our trick, right? As soon as he starts to try to attack you, drop down and just heal. And if he tries to fight you again, run back up and do that. And we just rinse and repeat. Because every single time you drop, orb. When you run up, come back, orb. So you don't lose any like heal time as much as you would if you're trying to like run away and go around corners and all that. It's really simple to dodge a Black Panther with Rocket. Unless they're extremely good. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You see, you didn't have to do all that. Just drop down. Because how does he work? He dashes. Well, if he can't see you, he's not going to dash down. That's troll. He's going to have to drop down to you and then try to do his combo. But as soon as he lands his spear, tries his combo, you're up here. And then he's going to dash sideways and mess up and have to run away. Spider-Man's a different story. That character, like, it's depending on how good they are. But yeah, you never want to get into a position where you're trying to outrun a character like this. You cannot outrun Black Panther. You can't outrun Magic. You can't outrun Spider, Iron Fist. You don't outrun these characters. You just got to outmaneuver them. And it's also very important for two things. One, when you start climbing, because I know you want to hit Grandmaster, they're going to be good enough to catch you. Like this Black Panther made mistakes, obviously. But if you were to dash that way to a Black Panther that is like really good at Black Panther, you wouldn't have gotten away. He would have got you. Because that's what he wants. You're dashing his fixed dash distance, which means he can reach you. So learning how to do this now against Black Panthers that aren't that great is huge for you because you can get the momentum down. You can understand how to do it. The other thing that it does is it makes it so you're out of position. He's like forcing you out of position when he does that. And that's what he wants. They want you to be out of a safe spot. Your spot is safe for a reason, right?
Right.
So if he pushes you out of it, all you did, if you did that and there was some Hellas or something over there, you're done. The other thing that it does, and this is the last thing that it does, is it makes your team have to worry about you. Like, let's see if they even looked at you when you did that. Because most players, you know, they're not going to want you to get KO'd. That's kind of troll if they let you get KO'd. So let's see. As soon as you start dashing, let me look at their cameras. Are they looking at you? Boom. Instantly. What about, boom, instantly. Right? All because you dash past their screen. But now she's basically playing by herself. Jeff's helping her, don't get me wrong. But if Jeff looks, she's by herself. What if she walks forward not knowing what you're doing and then she gets KO'd? All because you dashed out. So I'm not saying, again, all these ramifications definitely are, they shouldn't be behaving a specific way. But there's so much you can do to impact how your team behaves. It's ridiculous. If you're calm, your team's calm. But because you're running, they just think like, oh my God, I gotta stop the Black Panther. So try to outmaneuver more and run away, and you're gonna find yourself in a did he just get KO'd? Oh no, that was just a camera issue. You'll find yourself in a much better position. Also, you just went to the enemy side. So if there was someone here, you'd just be KO'd. Do you think about like where you're running to when you run away, or you just are like, get me away from this, please, Lord, get me away from this?
Sometimes I'll position myself and think about, all right, where am I going to go after he dies me? But sometimes I get too like into the game and into healing that I kind of like don't think about that next move. I know that he's not going to kill me, but I don't know if he fully commits what I'm going to do afterwards.
Right. Yeah, and again, that's why I said when you outmaneuver them, you're essentially still in the same exact spot. You're just moving around in it. Understand the attack patterns of how these characters work, and you'll be able to pretty much, because you were already talking about how you understood how Black Panther, or you started to understand how Black Panther kind of wants to play, right? You were already explaining that to me. So just get the attack pattern down. You don't really need to know what they do before and after. Just what are they going to do when they go into you? Most Black Panther players are going to attack you first a little bit, get you low enough, throw a spear, dash through, turn around, either kick or throw another spear and dash through. Then they're going to do it again. Right? If we know that's how they play, just simply going down is going to make them have to rethink their entire strategy. Because they have to crawl themselves back up or climb themselves back up to where you are, and they could just mess up their dash. Like, it's so hard for them. When you're dealing with the Spider-Man, you know it's more about being on the inside than on the outside. That right there is pretty much what happens. Not because you were out of position. Well, you were, right? You went from left to right to then in that spot. But also, that's what happens when people pay attention to you and not the enemy team. Because they basically just pushed it on point, but they were so focused on the Black Panther chasing you, which you also made it difficult to hit because you dashed around. And that's what he wants, right? He wants to dash around. So if you're going from there to there, and this guy's following you with dashes, it's very hard to hit. But imagine, again, you just go up and down. How is Black Panther moving too fast for your team to just KO real quick? He's just going up and down, you know? It's a crazy strong tactic. I'm telling you. Once you get that down, nasty. Same thing with Magic. Magic is a very horizontal type character as well. She doesn't have great verticality, other than that dash. But she only has it once. You should be good. Yeah.
I don't know how or why I didn't die here.
I mean, I'm really glad that you decided to ignore the Loki and get back to your team. Like, that's very huge.
I was going to fight the Jeff. I was going to fight the Jeff, so I seen a Loki. I'm like, yeah, I'm losing this fight.
Yeah, that was a good play. I don't necessarily like, I don't really care too much about that KO, but I don't necessarily like how when you approach a situation, you don't really know where. Is this too far back? This is giga far back. What happened? What did I do? Okay, anyway. What I don't like is how, I won't say I don't like it, but I will say I'm not a fan of it. When you play, you have a specific habit that I've picked up on. Whenever something tragic happens, something like this, something where it's very awkward and it's like throwing your whole game off, when you return to the fight, you don't really think about how you're going to get from point A to point B and where even point B is. You just go to try to be that to your team. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but that's what the gameplay says to me.
Correct. You're right.
And that puts you in really bad positions because it's like, I'm trying to help my team. But if you're KO'd, man, there's no help, right? You're not on the map anymore. I want you to try. Are you like in comms with these guys, or do you have friends you're playing with?
I listen to comms, but I don't actually interact with comms, if that makes sense.
I
hear them. Like my comms are on, so I can hear people, but I don't really react to them. And comms in this game, everybody was just triggered. Like the comms in this game was crazy. Everybody was triggered. Okay, I had my strings hollering and screaming, like losing his mind.
I can imagine. I only ask because the way that you're playing is very selfless, and you need to be a selfish type of player because you need to make sure that you're okay before everyone else is okay. This goes for every role. It's not just a support thing. If a DPS is not okay and being too selfless, they're going to get KO'd repeatedly. Same for the tank, same for the strat. The way that you're playing and the habits that I'm seeing this match, again, this is why I asked if you're on comms, because this may not be your default pattern. This could just be a comm pattern, but it just seems like I'm putting everyone ahead of myself, and whatever happens to me happens. But as long as you guys are okay, I'm okay. And that's what the gameplay says to me. I want you to be more selfish and be like, yeah, I got you, but hold on. Let me get to where I need to be first before, you guys are getting healed. I'll try to pop some orbs on you when I can. But like, other than that, you guys are going to have to wait. This would increase your other characters' win rates as well. With just the simple fact that you're being selfish. When you're playing Luna Snow, you need to be selfish. She doesn't have an escape. She can only, skate around. But other than that, nothing. Do you play any other characters besides Luna and Rocket?
I play Rocket. I can play Invis, Cloak and Dagger. I can play Loki, but I'm not the best Loki.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good Jeff.
But then, yeah, you pretty much like have the roster of characters where it's like, my positioning needs to be, good before I can even assist you guys. But it seems like you're putting your team ahead of you too much, and that's not okay. That's not what you're going to need to do if you want to climb. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to climb doing that. And this is coming from someone who's climbed, all 3 roles. I do this because I want to know how it feels to be you. There's a lot of people, and no shade to anybody, of course, but there's a lot of people, and I've seen it with past games that I've coached as well, where like they'll tell you what to do, but they don't know because they never did it. They just know based off secondhand, well, my supports in my games do this, so this must be right. And that's not true. This gameplay will make it very frustrating, like very frustrating for you to climb. And it's going to feel a lot like your games are very coin flip heavy, because realistically, your positioning is only good if their positioning is good. And that should never be how it is. Your positioning should always be good. And I forgot that was even going to happen, but it happened because we were doing what we just talked about. We weren't thinking about where that point B is going to be. Where are we safe? I'm just trying to get back to my team to help fight. But if you're KO'd, you're gone for 10 seconds. Plus, you're gone for like an extra 10 to 20 seconds to get back to point, depending on the map. And then the fight could be over by the time you get there. And guess what? If you get too close again, because you're doing that same habit of, well, point A to point B, I'm just trying to get to my team, you're going to be out of position again and get KO'd. And then it's just a rinse and repeat of the same thing over and over, and you don't really see that it's happening, Like, let's see what happens. Look at you, almost got KO'd for the same reason. It's okay. Let your team, they suck. In your mind, bro, they suck. I don't really recommend always thinking that, but sometimes that's the push you need to be like, I'm the top dog in this match. You guys, tanks, if you walk around the corner and get KO'd, bro, my bad. I'll wait for you to spawn. Sucks for you. Because that's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be. You're only as good as, you effectively want to be. You just default playing so that way you're able to heal your team but not worry about yourself. That's going to just make it so that you win some games and you lose other games. And I know you don't want to have a coin flip type of match history. Nobody does. I win 2, I lose 2. I win 1, I lose 1. Nobody wants that, right? This is what's causing it. And it's not even like you're a bad player. That's why I'm so stressing out so much on it. You're hindering yourself. You're basically handicapping yourself in these matches. That's not what you want to do. There it goes again, right? When my teammates are getting KO'd, let me try to run to point. Now, I do understand it's getting to that point where it's going to be 100%. So it's kind of like, what do I got to lose? I get you. But again, this is a pattern that I've seen through this match where if someone does something outrageous, you try to do your best to fix it. You can't. You can't. It's impossible. These players are in this rank because they're making mistakes, and you can't fix that. They can only fix it by how they play. So that's what you're going to be really kind of focusing on. So we're going to pay more attention to what you're doing and why. And I'm going to just kind of ask you, was this recent? Was this game recent?
This game was that recent, probably about a week, maybe 2 ago.
Oh, so you might not really know why you were doing something if it's too specific.
I remember this game vividly
Oh,
because of Black Panther.
So then I'm gonna ask some
I
questions
remember
then.
the game vividly.
We're gonna ask some questions then, and we're gonna see why we're doing certain things.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I think this was the game I switched to Ultron because I got tired of Black Panther.
Valid. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing, right? We're gonna say we're going from point A to point B. Point A is our spawn. Point B is where? Where on this map will it be good for you if you can get to it? I'll just kind of go through and you just let me know if you know. Like, where do you want to end? Probably
Right here.
right here.
Right. In front of that wall,
So like, oops.
behind that wall, or in front of that wall would be the best spot.
Okay, so something like this.
A little closer.
This close? Or you mean closer like up here?
Like up there. So like on the other side of that wall.
Okay, so like right here.
Right there.
I got you. Okay, so if this is where you want to be, right, we need to think about how we're going to get to this location. Well, in order for us to even be in this vicinity, we need to make sure that they're not here because they will shoot you, right? So we need to figure out how do we get there. And this is something that's a tank skill. Do you tank?
I can tank. Because I'm a lower Thor, because I tend tank, and I can play a little bit of strange, but like unless my team is good, I'm not the best.
I got you. I'm not really saying it in terms of just like, carrying, but there's a concept that tanks generally follow. Well, if they're good. Some tanks just be wilding. But there's a concept that they kind of follow, and you're trying to just edge yourself forward. So in order for you and your team to get from point A to point B, you need to take micro steps to get there. And so this is why I said it's important for you to figure out what you're trying to do, because you can take the safest route possible to get there. If there are players sitting down here, like right at this edge, you can't just walk straight down. You're going to have to try to wiggle yourself maybe over here, drop down, maybe come over there. It's a big difference. Now, this map is very weird, so that's just an example. You're not doing anything like that. You might go up where he's going to get around them. But you can kind of understand how you can't just go from straight point A to point B. You do have to do a few extra things. So we're going to see what you do when you're getting hit with obstacles. Okay, that right there, you get KO'd. 1000%. Because you're not letting your team create the space before you go into it. I know you're antsy, but we're doing that pattern where it's like, I got to get there because my team's already fighting. I got to help them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what the gameplay says. Your Fantastic is here, Cap's there. You're like, I gotta. No, man, this is not you. This is not you. Let them walk forward first. See if anybody's shooting at anybody by the time you walk out, and then go. I'm only saying this because, again, I know you want to get Grandmaster, and there's a lot of Hawkeye and Hella players that will wait for you. And if they see that you're getting ready to do that, and they're just sitting there waiting, they will pop you as soon as you come out and you're KO'd. Happens a lot. And they don't have one, obviously, but this is just the mindset you want to have. You don't want to rush yourself. If you do want to rush and get to point like that, cool, but you got to do it in a better way than that. So you could do it from this angle. Right, you come down, you fly through. I'm trying to get to my team. Nothing there. Cool. I'm trying to get to my team. Stay low. Nothing there. Cool. I'm gonna get to my team. You see how much of a difference that is than you just going straight with your whole entire team walking through that choke? It's a way different way to approach. So just always keep that in mind. All right, so what's your thought process usually when you play Ultron? Like, what tells you I'm gonna shoot this person? I'm gonna like.
Normally, I try to avoid shooting tanks unless there's more than one person shooting them. Usually, I'm looking for the person that's low or the person I can two-shot.
Okay. So let's see.
Or that person that's more of a hindrance to my team. Like, I'm looking for the person that I know I can't heal like everybody else. So I'm thinking, all right, let me kill what would do the most damage to my team that I can't heal.
I got
So
you.
my point is, all right, let me take space. Let me be a problem. Let me make it so, oh, Ultron's right here. They're shooting me. He's tripping my health. Let me back up and allow my people to move forward. Like, I try to be like a pseudo, like, take space tank without having to sit there and just take a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a hard one because I understand what you're trying to do. Ooh, that's a hard one. That's some really good proactivity, but it really only works if your team follows you up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a coin flip situation. The easiest way you can get around this is by figuring out which characters you have on your team and how they like to play. You know, Strange is very slow, Cap's very fast, Mr. Fantastic's pretty slow, Scarlet's pretty slow. Like, these are characters that are not going to be just bum rushing the back line. They're more of like, I mean, Cap will, but they're more of like, we're going to inch ourselves forward together and make something happen. So you can probably have some okay follow up with Cap. But again, you see how this dude is like way over here and he's way over there. This is when you put yourself in a position to be ahead of your entire team, which can get you KO'd. Like, you're not KO'd because they didn't focus you. It's not because you're playing well. And so if you get to a rank that will KO you every single time you're not playing well, it's going to feel like you can't really do anything. You know what I mean? But if we can identify like why we're not doing something well, we could fix that. And then you're going to be chilling. What do you think the main reason right now, aside from being ahead of them, right? What's the main reason you think this is probably not a good idea?
Because the whole team can see me?
Yeah, the whole team can see you. So in hindsight, you see this, but why'd you do it in game?
Part of me did it because I knew that Black Panther can't reach me up here unless he's a gamer. Magic can't reach me up here unless he's a gamer. So the only person I had to really worry about was Groot, Jeff, or their alpha support.
So you egoed is the correct answer.
I did. Black Panther triggered me so much during this game that I was just, he can't get me. So I'm getting him. I'm killing everything. I was mad.
Yo, I like that you tried to make that a smooth explanation, though. It's like, I've been in your shoes. You're egoing. I know what that is. Respect, though. I get you. Yeah, the less danger that's near, the more aggressive you can get. I totally understand that. Just keep in mind, you know, you're still susceptible, and just have a backup plan. That's all I'm saying. But I do understand what you're talking about. There's always just have to be a reason why you're doing something. This is why I ask. So whenever I like ask or anything, I'm not saying you're wrong. I always just want to know what you're thinking, because if you know why you're doing something, that's 1,000 times better than just like, I don't know, popping. That's a problem, right? Doing your best. You are low, so you gotta be careful. And we heard magic on the right, so she might just get you. Yeah, you see, like, oh my lord, I can't believe she missed that. But you see kind of what I mean. It's the same as the Rocket gameplay and the Luna gameplay. You're just doing your best to get to a spot to help your team, but that spot could be awful. The team has to work with you. It does not matter which character it is. It is not, like, when I play strategist, I'm the most, when people play with me, they don't notice it. But if I'm streaming it and I talk, oh, I'm the most, like, you're not getting healed if you're misbehaving, bro. Like, that Cap is trying to survive, but you have to understand that fight is lost. You shouldn't be in an advantageous position being aggressive if the fight is already lost. Do you know what I mean? So
yes,
let's go back here just a little bit. A little bit. And I want you to tell me when you feel like the fight is just, all right, Poppin', the fight's over, bro. I don't really know what we're doing from here. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back a little bit more. I'm just going to, like, speed it. But you tell me when you feel like the fight is done, and I should pause it. So just say pause.
Pause.
You think the fight's over right here?
Yep.
Why?
Cap's the only one there. Because the Cap's literally, Cap and me is the only person on point. And the rest of the team is, I didn't see who KO'd, but I can't see anybody. So if it's just me and Cap there, we're probably not winning against the whole team.
Right. So you could say we're in a neutral spot. Do you agree? You're not in a spot that's aggressive, but you're not in a spot that's like defensive. It's kind of like, I'm here. I'm chilling. Where do you think we should go then if we know the fight's lost?
Either back closer to where my team would spawn at.
Right. So it would be somewhere over here. Anywhere over there. What did we do though? We went that way, right?
Still. Right.
But why? If the fight's lost and you know it's 100% lost, why are we trying to make it a win? What are we doing? Do you need to do damage to keep Cap alive, essentially?
No.
Precisely.
I don't know what I was thinking here. Part of me was thinking, all right, let me go over that wall so it's harder for them to shoot me because my home team's dead. Because if I tried to back up towards my team, they're definitely going to chase me down.
From right here, they're going to chase you? They're not even looking at you. You see that pattern? It's the same. You do so many things for your teammates, but you do not understand how important your own gameplay is to like how impactful you are as a player. You're throwing your life away every single time. You are important. Okay? You're not just I'm just a strategist that walks around here. No, you are important, man. You have to play like it. Everybody's a cog in the machine, and without you, the machine won't run. So we can't do things like this. You're not a bad player. You're not someone getting carried. You earned the rank that you are. You got to play like it. This is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I don't care if this guy's in there. I don't care if you're playing with me and I do the same stupid thing. It's not a good idea. Back up, regroup with your team, and win the next fight. I know I know, like in hindsight, this seems like super obvious, but I guarantee when you're in these matches, this is not what you're thinking about. And then again, I've been there. I've been there. That's why I can say what I can say, because I've been exactly where you were. I get KO'd trying to be too close. I tried to fight fights that are lost. This is all the things that I had to learn with you. But the reason for the coaching and the videos is so that you don't have to spend so much time like I did figuring this stuff out already. That is like one of your main hindrances, is that you put your teammates' life before yours. And you try to do your best to make sure everybody's okay. But the thing is, you're just giving them resources, man. Like, what do you, like, as a strategist, and you do play other stuff. I know you play other stuff, but as a strategist, what do you think their goal is? Like, what is the role that role plays in this game?
Heal as much as you can, farm out.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong in that regard, huh? You're not. Okay, that is true. But when you're healing them, what are you giving them? Like, what is healing them do?
Allow them to be just a bit, for one, keep them from dying, and two, allow them to be a little bit more aggressive.
Right. So you're giving them the tools to play the game, which means they have to still play the game. The way you're playing now is like you're just giving them the tools, the van, just the whole business. You're giving them everything and expecting them to win the game for you. Even though you might not be thinking it, that's what gameplay says. But remember, the goal is to give them the tools to play the game. Dude, if your team can't use those tools, they can't use those tools. It's not your fault. Sometimes fights just go south and you gotta regroup. But when you give them so much, it's basically like, I'm gonna heal you until I can't heal you anymore. And that type of thing is very, very rough to play with. Because, again, if they don't use your tools, you basically are just wasting your time, right?
Yes.
And again, you're like, look at that! Look at that! Bro. Like, what are we doing? Why do we do this now? And you had a whole 2 rounds. And it took you till now. What did you do? You waited for your team. Well, granted, you almost got KO'd. She literally put you on timeout. And that's the only reason you didn't get KO'd. But let's just say, we you know, Cap, I don't know what you're doing, bro, but I'm going to go back and wait for my team. Let's just say that's what happened. That's the choice that we made. We did not almost get KO'd by Magic. We backed up. Your team comes. You're moving in. You're doing damage. Boom. What's up? Boom. I'm being a presence. Boom. KO. I'm going back here to help them out because you guys are in ult. You guys are safe. Boom. You're done. Who's next? Boom. You're done. Who's next? That's all it takes. You see how much impact you made by being alive. You are useful. You are way more than just a heal bot, no matter which character you play. But you don't play like it. It only turns on every now and then. I guess maybe Black Panther made you so mad you just went Super Saiyan. Like, I don't know. But you should be doing this every game. You're a cog in the machine. You won that team fight by how you played, by not getting KO'd early. That was good. Now we have to keep it up. Don't chase that. You're not getting him. Just focus on here.
I only chased them because I knew that was a wall.
If they end up getting KO'd, though, because you're not paying attention, that's rough. But I guess you had a bot on him. I'm not going to fault you. I'm not going to fault you. You had a bot on him. Respect, respect. Okay, you're doing good. I like it. Just have a retreat plan. You're so in the open. I'm not sure where you would go if things go south. But I do like what you're doing. Nice. Get me. Yeah, you see how you kind of like panicked a little bit and you just ran into walls and just have a retreat plan. Okay, so with this, I understand you're trying to hit magic, but that is not an easy target for you to hit. There's only 2 options. The first option is just get lower, so that way you're horizontal, way easier to smack her. The other way could just be focus somebody else. If you're shooting 3, 4, 5 shots and they're all missing, that could be 3, 4, 5 shots into a Loki clone. That could be 3, 4, 5 shots into a group wall. That could be 3, 4, 5 shots into a Jeff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just kind of think more about what you're shooting at. That's value that is just getting wasted, so to speak. This is good, though. And all this happened because you had a plan at the start. Again, your plan, the first plan you had got ruined by magic, and you were like, all right, let me chill. But after that, you had a plan. Like I said, it looked like you knew what you were doing. But the other fights that we had in the other rounds and stuff like that, it looked like we were just being like Sadesical. It looked like we were just kind of going with the flow. Why does your gameplay just look so different now than it did a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago?
Here, I played better because I feel like I didn't have to. The last 2, I had to deal with Black Panther, and that was kind of the thing at the back of my mind. At the same time, I was listening to comms, and I just was like, oh, I'm not getting killed. It was like, all right, cool. And then between having to keep my team alive and dealing with Black Panther, my brain kept going, oh, I need to keep my team alive. Oh, I need to stay alive, keep my team alive.
Right.
If Black Panther's on me, that's cool. But here, I ain't have that. I ain't have to worry about Black Panther or everybody else so I can game. So if I didn't have to worry about healing my team, because I bet Black Panther can get me up here, now I can focus on doing damage. I can focus on what my team needs me to kill. I can focus on how I'm going to play this, how I'm going to play that. And with that, it kind of allowed me to be a little bit more focused on what I was doing next, opposed to reacting to what could happen at any possible moment because I'm getting died every 5 seconds.
Right, right. And the difference between this gameplay here and then the gameplay before is that you had that plan. You were more focused about what's going to happen, like when is Black Panther going to get me? But you should be focused on like he's going to get me. There's no way I'm getting away from this character. What do I do once he's here? And so let's just say Black Panther takes, I don't know, 10 seconds to get to you, right? He runs from one side of the map, 10 seconds to get to you. Then he starts attacking you for 5 seconds. You manage to survive. And he has to reset for about 8 seconds. That's 18 seconds of free gameplay and only 5 seconds of I gotta worry. But the way that you were playing was like that entire 18 seconds plus 5, you were worrying. You weren't playing how you should be playing, you know? So if we can kind of get to that point where it's like, I'm not worried about you until I have to worry about you, you can start playing like this in a much bigger window than just, oh, Black Panther's KO'd now. Now I can play you guys. You just explained why you don't deserve to be in Platinum and why you should be in Diamond. Yet, I'm going to guarantee you that because the behavior pattern that you had in this match, I guarantee you that happens in other games as well. Which means you're not even playing to your full potential that you could be. Everything you just explained, very great, very smart thought process. That's how it should be. I got this. I know this is. I don't need to worry about that. I'm gonna focus on what I need to do. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and that's gonna be how we win this match. But if we're not doing that every single game, and we only do that when we don't need to worry about threats, or we only do that when things are going, really good for us, you're not gonna be able to win the games that are really tough. You're only gonna be able to win the games that are kind of like mid. But you're better than that, clearly. So we got to get you in that headspace to really be like, you got this. I do understand dive characters, bro. I know, they feel really unbalanced and unfair. And this was a really great swap. And I'm not saying you got to be a person to play one character. If you love the character, play it. But if you're like, I got to swap to Ultron because I feel like that's the best choice, then swap to Ultron and do it moving. This is exactly what I was talking about in that other video when I was referring to identifying the problem and then trying to solve it by swapping or by figuring out how to play differently or anything like that. It's just figuring out what you need to do. Do you feel like most of the games, well, I'm not even going to say most. We're just going to say like, I don't know, your past 10 games that you lost, right? Do you feel like you lost it because you didn't swap? Do you feel like you lost it because... do you feel like any of it is I could have played differently in that situation that could have net us a win, or it was like it was just a really hard game?
It's usually we're losing, and I'm trying to figure out how we can win, and I try too hard. And when I'm support, I try too hard and put myself in bad positions, end up dying 75% of the game and not getting any value, and then the rest of the team can't fight without me, and then we lose.
Do you feel like a lot of your decision making is kind of like altered once people start flaming you?
Yes.
Right. I know how that feels. Because it just sometimes it feels like you're not doing the right thing. And then you just start second guessing yourself. Like, am I not doing the right thing? Do you know better than I do? And it feels horrible. This is why I said you need to get into that mindset of like, you guys suck. Don't use that as an excuse of saying like, you're all trash and I hate all you guys. I'm not going to play with you guys. That's not what I mean. Even when I play in bronze, I still play with my team and I'm still that team player. I will play the exact same. I don't have any ego towards it. But I do know if you call me out, you're trolling. And I'm not going to respond to you. But I know for a fact I know better than you. What's the difference between you, someone who might not be Diamond, someone who might not be Grandmaster, but possibly have the knowledge to hit that rank, yet you're in Platinum, and someone says you're doing something wrong, but you have Diamond knowledge, you have Grandmaster knowledge. What's the difference between me smurfing and being in your rank and being called out? There's no difference, right? Both of us are still above that rank. So... why do you think my attitude is different towards that type of situation than yours?
Because you have confidence in your skills and your knowledge.
Right, but you just explained everything that I would have done in this match. Everything that you just said, I swapped Ultron to do this and this and this and this and this. Bro, that was you would have. That's coaching me. That was good, dude. But you don't. Why are you just backing off when people tell you, "Ah, you're wrong"? You're smart, man. You gotta trust yourself. You're a better player than you think. Yeah, you may feel like your mechanics might not be that great. I don't have great mechanics. I sometimes have fire mechanics, but like most of the time I'm not mechanical. Like ever.
My mechanics are so inconsistent. Some games I feel like I'm hitting everything. Other games I can't hit nothing.
Yeah, but that's where the game knowledge comes into play. That's where you need to be understanding, like, I might not be good in this area, but I'm great in this area. This is why a lot of people that come to my stream are like, Papa, your mechanics. I mean, if I'm streaming for like 6 hours, obviously by the 6th hour, my mechanics are awful. But they're like, but your game knowledge is great. And it's like, yeah, because that's what I rely on. I know my mechanics will eventually leave if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, if I'm sleepy, whatever. But that game knowledge is always there. You always know what you need to do at the right time. And that's something that cannot be taken away from you. You explained what you needed to do, and you pulled it off here. But if you have this knowledge to win these games that are hard, but it's always getting altered by someone flaming or raging at you, man, you're not going to climb. And that's just the truth of it. So you really got to you got to trust yourself more. And the bright side about trusting yourself is if you're wrong, man, you get to learn from that situation. Let's say we swapped Ultron, Magic got you out the air, Black Panther got you out the air. You're like, bro, I don't know what to do. And you lose. Okay. But now you can think about why it didn't work. And it was your choice. Bro, if the Strange is like, Rocket, get off of this and go this. Rocket, do that. And then you get KO'd repeatedly and you lose. What do you learn? Not to listen to Strange, I guess. But like you wasted a whole match that you could have been using to learn how to play better. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think you just need more confidence in your gameplay. I think your major issue, though, like your major issue is that point A to point B thing, man. You're trying to get to that fight way too quick, and it generally seems to happen once you're KO'd or someone chases you somewhere. You're trying to get back to that team fight to salvage it up. And maybe it's because I'm trying to hurry up and get there so that way they don't notice that I'm gone, so that way I don't get flamed. That could be a subconscious thought. Because if they get KO'd and they see your screen and you're way over there in La La Land, oh, they're about to be mad, right? So maybe you're thinking, well, if I get back to the fight and you guys KO, you see that I'm here. But again, if you're doing something, if you have to run away because you're getting chased, bro, you got to run away because you're getting chased. What you gonna do about it? That's the nature of Black Panther and Magic and these characters that are designed to make you run around. Nothing you could do. If they get KO'd because you're on a wall for 3 seconds and not pocketing them, bro, that's a team issue. That's not a you issue. As long as you survive, at least. So, yeah, be more confident in your gameplay. Make sure that you understand that you need to be safe. Whenever you're going from point A to point B, anywhere on the map, you need to be safe. How can I get there safely? I'm not trying to rush there. I need to get there safely. And then have a plan of what you're going to do and stick to it. If your team is mad, whatever. But as long as you are swapping your game plan, or as long as you're swapping your characters and all that extra stuff on your terms, you will reach your goal. But the more that you let these guys influence your gameplay, whether it's through typing or through comms on mic, the more you're going to be here. Because guess what? If this Strange has been in Platinum for 3 years, I know the game hasn't been out that long, but for 3 years, and he's like, you suck, you don't know what you're doing. Bro, you're Platinum for 3 years. What do you know? Like, you only know as much as where you are, right? So how can he tell you what to do if he doesn't know what's good or bad? He clearly is in this rank for a reason, so he only knows Platinum level. He doesn't know Diamond level. He doesn't know Grandmaster level. Only you know that because that's where you're trying to go, right?
Right.
So not to make that speech long and not to give no Coach Carter speech, but definitely pay more attention to or be more confident in your gameplay, man. You're better than you think you are, but letting these players alter your thought process and letting them psych you out, and so you don't have any game plans anymore and you're just going with the flow and trying to make some stuff happen on the fly, that's gonna make you lose. I guarantee it. And I don't tell players, I won't lie to players. I'm not gonna say, oh, you can get the Diamond or Grandmaster by this simple stuff, because no, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you can't get there because of how you're playing right now, you can't get there. Well, bro, what you explained to me and how you just performed in this match, in the second half, because that first half we ain't gonna talk about, but how you performed in that second half, bro, that's Diamond material. And as you get to Diamond and play, that's gonna be Grandmaster material, and you're just gonna keep going. But it starts here. It starts here, man, because it's not gonna taper off. You're gonna get flamed and yelled at in Diamond, Grandmaster, Celestial, and my God, when you get to Eternity, if that's what you're planning to do eventually, they don't play because now you're messing with their one above all. And so they're going to be furious. I don't use comms, so I wouldn't know. But I know that they type in chat and they tell me to swap. And I'm like, bro, you got me messed up. So I'm not swapping. But that's just me. So anyway, any last questions, comments, or concerns? You kind of understand where I'm coming from with this?
Yes.
All right. If you have any questions, like I said before, feel free to hit me up in the DM. Again, you're doing great. Just be more confident, man, and just be more safe. Your life is way more important because you're the one playing this character. When you are playing the game, you are just as important as everybody else, if not more, because you can't play if you're not alive. So really focus on that. And bro, I'm trying to tell you, you're way better than you think, man. Just get that confidence down, okay?
Yes, got you.
All right, for sure. I'll talk to you later. As I said it before, if you need anything, just let me know. All right, and to the rest of you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that coaching session. This player is actually playing really well, and this is something that a lot of you guys struggle with. You know, a lot of you guys try to stretch yourselves thin and mold yourself into something, that your team wants you to be. You cannot be good at everything, but only you know how good you are in a certain area. And so if you're a good person here, but maybe not there, be good here. Do your best there. If someone tells you you're doing it wrong, no, what I'm doing got me to this rank. So what I'm doing, I know is correct. And you continue to hone your skills on whatever got you here. This player clearly understands the game at a fundamental level, which is important, which is huge. But if you're not going to use that knowledge because someone is calling you out, because people are raging and they're just upset, or maybe a certain character makes you upset or anything like that, and like get you out your zone or out your element, you're going to be struggling. So to anybody that's watching this that might be in the same boat where you feel like, man, I am good, but sometimes, man, it just gets to me and it shakes my gameplay. Trust me, from popping off into you, okay? You are a good player, okay? You have the skills needed to climb. You have to trust yourself. If things don't go well, it's okay. Just identify why it didn't go well and improve on it for the next match. It's not a race, it's a marathon. It will take time. Some climb faster than others, but if you have that goal and you keep applying yourself and you keep trusting yourself, you will reach that goal. I guarantee you, okay? So, as always, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. And until next time, you know what I always say. The guys doing what? Popping nothing. We're live.